Welcome to Me Getting Cheated On, or welcome back to Me Getting Cheated On. Today's story time, I honestly never thought I would get around to telling. But since the last video, I can now say it. So I'm about to be, it's not funny. So I'm about to be telling a story time about the time my boyfriend cheated on me multiple times and then his family jumped me. Yes, you heard that correctly. I don't know what I did to deserve such a tragic life, but like, let's get into it. So if you came here to get entertained, you're about to be entertained. Like, grab your popcorn, grab the full 4-course meal, because this is about to be a movie, a full movie. I just want to preface this video by saying I'm not an idiot, but the decisions that I made throughout this chapter of my life, you're about to question my intelligence, but like, same. I was just like dumb in love. We've all been there, you know what I mean? So let's get into it. It was January 2017. I got this app, like download this app for the first time called Grindr. If you don't know what Grindr is, keep up. It's okay. It's like a hookup dating type app or whatever. And this guy messaged me on there or whatever. And I was like, like glasses, like, okay, like he was cute or whatever. So I messaged him back, and this is where my life took a turn for what would ultimately be like the worst 6 months of my life. So we start like DMing back and forth, or like texting, messaging on this app or whatever. I find out that he went to the high school I used to go to. He was 16, I was 17. I have to like stress that because like I have to stress a lot of things in this video because you're gonna get like you're gonna understand why. So like timelines, ages, dates, like you're gonna have to keep up. Everything is crucial. So I give him my number. I think I give him my number. We start texting, talking, stuff like that. And then one day it was just like, oh, like let's meet up. So we met at a Walmart in the middle of the night, a Walmart. So yeah, I picked him up. We went to like a Walmart, just like walked around, was talking, like vibing in the middle of the night. And then they're like riding bikes through Walmart, like, you know, like cute things, first, like, you know, first time meeting or whatever. Then we like hooked, screaming. My mom's seeing this. I hope she doesn't watch this. I don't know. So then we hooked up in my mom's truck.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn.
The thing is, this is like, I have to say this so that like the rest of the story makes sense. The hookup experience didn't go like well, you know what I mean? And I was like, I do not want to go down in history like this, like not having like the greatest like experience or whatever. Like, I don't want him to think that like that I'm not like a bomb time, you know what I mean? So pretty much that's why I wanted to see him again. That was like the main reason, you know what I mean? I just need to state that like I wasn't the problem, like he was the problem, and like I didn't want him to think that like it was gonna be like a whack experience like that. Like, it wasn't me. I just have to say that. So like this is all gonna make sense throughout the story, I promise. So pretty much after that, he just thought that was gonna be like a half decent, like failed, like I don't know, decent hookup attempt. And I was like, no, like I wanna see you again or whatever. And that's why I was like pushing to see him again or whatever. So we end up talking more and seeing each other more. And then Valentine's Day comes around. And at this point, we've been texting for like over a month, like texting, talking for over a month. So I asked him to be like my Valentine's or whatever. And he was like, yeah. So we went to the movies. And at this point, I'm thinking like, clearly we're dating, because if you're with me on Valentine's Day, then like I'm clearly the number one person. Like, who else is there? You know what I mean? Or else like you'll be with them on Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? So we were together on Valentine's Day, went on a date and stuff like that. Like, had a great little time. I got him like I was like the best person, like the best boyfriend in the world, the best whatever in the world. Like, got him like a bear and like chocolates, and was like ODing, like doing the most, like flowers and stuff like that, literally for Valentine's Day. We're talking or whatever after Valentine's Day for a while, and you know, like hanging out, seeing each other here and there and stuff like that. And at this particular point in time, I was not out to anybody at all. But like obviously, like talking to somebody, liking somebody, like when you start to like, I don't know, when you're like falling in love with somebody, like you want to share them with the rest of the world, like, you know what I mean? Like, not like that, but like you want to, I don't know, just like post pictures with them and post videos with them and stuff like that. So I kind of like eased my way into the situation, and I would post pictures of like him wearing like my hoodie or my jacket or something like that. You know what I mean? Like we had started to like share clothes type thing, right? And people started to pick up on that. So I ended up talking to him, and he was like, "Oh, you thought we were dating?" And I'm like, "Well, yes. Like I'm not just talking to you just to like, you know what I mean? Like be like a side piece." So we ended up making things like official, and I still was not ready to go like public, not just because like that, but like because I wasn't out to anybody, obviously. So it's like a big deal. So a few more months go by, and I'm like, um people started messaging me, so I'm like, let me just kind of like make it officially known or whatever, right? So I post this I post this picture of him on my story, and when I tell you my Snapchat, my Instagram like started blowing up, people like messaging me. Like my friend was like, "Oh my gosh, like is this the mysterious Bay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like yeah." And then my other friend was like, "Is this your boo?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like oh my god, I was like, "Yeah," like like it just felt great to like I don't know, like finally come out and say that or whatever, and like just like live. So it kind of turned into like a coming out moment, but like 5 or 10, I would say like 10% of like a coming out moment type thing. But yes, throughout the next few months, I was just pretty much like the ideal, like not even trying to like hype myself up, but like the ideal, like perfect boyfriend, especially to be like 17. Like I was very much romantic, and like I'd only been in 2 relationships prior in my entire life. So like we were going on dates, going to the movies, going out to eat. Like I would buy him stuff, I would buy his family stuff, I would buy his like his little sibling stuff, his mom like flowers and stuff like that. Like I was like top notch, like just like the A1 like best boyfriend in the world. Like I would bring him food to school, like I would literally pick him up from school, like take his friends places, take him in his friends places. Like we were like, I was boyfriend of the year, like just setting the scene, like perfect boyfriend of the year, right? Me. Okay, so let's fast forward to the drama. um So I just want to say though, throughout like the first few months, I want to say throughout like the first 3 months, we would be like chilling together, stuff like that, and I would get like a message here and there, and he would be like, "Don't open that, like don't reply to people, like don't entertain them, like stuff like that." And I'm like, "Oh no," like he would just be like they're trying to break us up, or like they're trying to like get at you or something like that. So I'm just like, "Oh okay, like no, like I'm not gonna reply to people, like I never, like what I mean, like I'm not a cheater, nor do I even have time to like talk to multiple people." So I was just like, "Oh no, like of course, like whatever, if you tell me not to reply to people, like I'm not gonna reply to people." But like I don't know, red flag number like 2, like I should be able to like open messages, because like what if they were trying to tell me something valid? Oh, we're gonna get into it, just keep up with me. So like 3 months that went by of me just like not opening other people's messages, stuff like that. And people like Snapchat me and stuff like that. And I remember one time specifically, we were sitting together in my bed, and somebody Snapchatted me, and they asked, "Do you have an open relationship with your boyfriend?" And I was like, "No." Like, "No, why?" And then this person replied, dot, 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 dot. Now, me being me today, or like you sitting there watching, can like pick up on the vibe of like, oh, like just oh. But at the time, I'm just like, no, why? Like, why would you ask? Like, cause I don't know, like an idiot in a relationship. Like, I get the thing now. I get it, judge me, whatever. And then they're like, "Do you know what Grindr is?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course." I'm like, "Why?" And then they're like, "Oh, like nothing, never mind, never mind, never mind," and just like leaves. And I'm like, "Were you gonna tell me something?" And this person just vanishes off the earth. And then I look over, and my boyfriend is like, why quit messaging people back? Like people are being weird, stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, like that was really weird. Like that was really random or whatever. So I just dropped the situation, right? Fast forward to the day of the crime scene. Fast forward to the day of the crime scene. So it was April 2nd. I come over his house, and I was typically over there like often, but like not too often. Just like, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 times a week, like perfect. Like literally, he could be doing anything. Like one time he had to like clean the house, and I was just like, you know, I'll take you to get the cleaning supplies. Like I'll pay for, like I'll literally like pay for the cleaning supplies and stuff. Like let's clean your house. Like you have to clean, let's clean. You have to like watch your little siblings, let's watch your little siblings. Like I just wanted to like be together, you know what I mean? So it was April 2nd, and he had to babysit, or like I guess just like watch his little siblings. He had, I have no idea. Like I literally forget. It was probably like 4 or 5 siblings or something like that. Like something of the sort, something in there. So on this day, April 2nd, 2017, we are laying together in bed, watching TV, watching movies, vibing, eating, chilling. He has the baby. Like we're all like vibing, like his little sister or whatever, when his little sister was a baby or whatever. So he's just like babysitting. We're all chilling in bed and stuff like that. So it's literally like we're laying down. So it's so it's me laying right here, him, this stuffed animal like big bear that I got him for Valentine's Day, and then his little sister right here, and then like the TV's over here, right? So for whatever reason, I think he had to like go to the restroom. He had to go to the restroom, and for whatever reason, I like wanted to. I think I posted a Snapchat or something of a story like, oh, like hack by bay. So like I needed his password or whatever, and I'm somebody that like doesn't care about passwords. Like you can have my like I'll literally give like somebody I just met my password. Like I don't care. So like obviously being in a relationship, like I have nothing to hide. So he had my password. He remembered my passwords. He may have given me his password here and there, but like I didn't care enough to ever remember it or like write it down or nothing like that. And I'm just like not good with remembering stuff like with passwords that I don't care about, right? Because I'm not concerned, because I'm thinking like there's no cheating going on. So I thought, I asked for his password so that I can post on his Snapchat like as he's going to the restroom or whatever. So y'all, clearly you can see like we were just laying in bed, like enjoying life, like enjoying like everything's normal. It's like 6:50 something, like probably like 6:55, 6:56, something like that. He gets up to go to the restroom. I take the little on his Snapchat or whatever. As soon as I put the phone down, as soon as I put his phone down, a message pops up on his phone. A message pops up. A message pops up on his phone from somebody named like D, like eggplant emoji, like water squirt emoji. And from this point, I know what you're thinking. Clearly he's cheating. Me in the moment, I was just like, oh, like who's this? Like an idiot. Like, but I don't know. So I was just like, oh, let me just like see who this is or whatever. Mind you, like also right before I filmed this, it was my first time even realizing that like the message was like encrypted or something, to where like you can't, which I didn't even know that was like a thing until like literally just like yesterday. Like fast forward like years later, like didn't even know that was a thing, to where if somebody texts you, you can have it to where like you can't see the text message until you unlock it. So like it literally said like unlock for more. So I'm like, oh, let me put the password in. And when I tell you I didn't even remember the first digit, I was like, damn. So so I'm like, oh, I have to wait till he comes back or whatever. So I'm just in the room. His little sister's, his little sister's sitting next to me or whatever. And his other siblings are in the living room, like watching TV or like doing whatever like little kids do. Like they're in like elementary school, middle school, something like that. Like something of the sort. So as soon as he comes back, like y'all, when I tell y'all, it had only been like, you see the timeline from when we were just sitting here enjoying life. And then like 15 minutes later, this text pops up. He comes from the restroom. I'm holding his phone, and I turn his phone around, and I'm like, who's this? The way that I got attacked, the way I got assaulted instantly. I'm sorry, I have to scoot forward. He jumped on me and attacked me for this phone. So I'm literally like, his sister's sitting, like little baby sister sitting right there or whatever. Then he jumped on me for the phone. I'm holding the phone and this man's on my back like this, like, give me the phone. And I'm like, get off the bag. Like, not funny. I'm literally like this, like the phone's in my hand and I'm like slamming him up against the wall, like not trying to hurt him, because like at this particular point in life I had been in fights where like I sent folks to the hospital, you know what I mean? Like, so if I wanted to hurt somebody, I like could. Me just like hype myself. If I wanted to hurt you, sweetie, I could. But like, so he's literally like on my back and I'm like, get off of me. But like not trying to hurt him, because like that wasn't the ideal. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't the, I had no idea this was gonna happen. I literally was just like, oh, like, who's this? And then I'm like, now I'm getting beat up. Like I literally can't even talk right now. I'm getting beat up over this phone. Do y'all know that scene from like Emperor's New Groove where like Yzma and them are like fighting over the potion? Like that's us fighting over the phone. Like this scene.
Give me that fire.
Like this man is on my back, beating me up and like choking me out over this phone. Mind you, at this point, I'm like very much confused because I was an idiot in the relationship, like an idiot, like a full like blown idiot. Like me graduating a year and a half early with like almost a 4.0 GPA, but like still couldn't even like grasp the fact that like clearly I was being cheated on, like played. I just wanted to like see who it was. Like it wasn't that deep. Like I didn't like, I mean, yeah, it was serious, but like I didn't know. I was confused. I just got attacked from seeing a text message. You know what I mean? So this man's on my back, like beating me up. Y'all, when I tell you we were going at it for like 5 minutes, and this man like was seeing that like he wasn't about to shake this phone for me because like I'm bigger than him or whatever. So this man's beating me up, wearing there like this, like fighting over the phone, like fighting over this phone or whatever for 5 minutes. His little sister, like a baby, is just sitting in the corner watching us. So it's like his sister's to the right, the roaches are to the left, just like there's some good tea, like watching us on the wall, like wow, and us just like beating each other up over this phone. Literally, then this man sees that he's not gonna like get this phone for me by himself or whatever. So this man literally, no joke, I cannot make this up. I cannot make this up. This man calls for backup. He calls in all of his siblings that were at the house. They come running in like a stampede. And no joke, y'all, I can't make this up. Like, I know this sounds like very much like who would even, this man said, attack. He told them to attack me. He told them to attack me. Like, so then it's just like a bunch, like literally, like, I don't know, like the room just turns into like a war zone over this phone. Like literally like a scene from the Avengers where they're like all fighting over the Infinity Stone, and it's just like they're like beating each other up. Like that literally was like us, like 5-6 people like fighting over this one item. It's in the air. Now I got it. Somebody's on my back. I'm beating them up. Like, and it's like kids, but then like also like I wasn't trying to hurt him and I wasn't trying to hurt these kids because like they know me and like I know their mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know his mom. Like I know their mom. Like their mom knows me. Like I'm not. And then they're kids. So it really was just like an uncomfortable, like odd situation because I can't like body slam them. So now there's probably like 5-6 of us in the room like fighting over this phone. And like literally if the neighbors would have walked by, it would have looked like that scene from Hannah Montana. And like when the grandmas were fighting, do you know what I'm talking about? Like this scene.
They both cut it out and sent it to me. You guys promised.
Like literally if the neighbors would have walked by the front window and like walked by the sidewalk, just like walking, like taking their dog on a walk and like look over and like that's what they would have seen, like us fighting over that phone. So I eventually am just like fed up and irritated, and I'm like, I clearly like I can beat all of these like people up, but like that's not like the goal. Like I was just very much confused. So I just let the phone go. And as soon as I let the phone go, this man grabs the phone and like runs in the restroom, like barricades himself in the restroom, like locks the door, like 4 locks, like clank. Like in the restroom. And I'm like, I'm just gonna leave. So I get, this is not funny. So I get my stuff or whatever. And y'all, I just have to like put you all in like the headspace that I was in. So I'm still confused because I don't know any, y'all, I'm an idiot. Let's get past that point. I just wanted to like, if I was being cheated on, like I wanted to see like proof, but like clearly, like what more proof did I need? What an idiot. I get it. We get it. I was an idiot. We're all here. Like I was the Khloe Kardashian with Tristan before they were a thing. Like we get it. We get it. We're here. We're on the same page. Like just give me my big booty and my Khloe wig, because I was Khloe. So I walk out of the house, I get in the car, and like I was devastated. So I'm in the car like crying or whatever. I'm crying because, not because I'm like, I got cheated on. Like, no, that was not it at all. I was crying because I felt like you have to like, I'm trying to put you in the headspace, especially if you're like straight, then like you have no idea like where these tears could even come from, especially because I'm not an emotional person. But I was crying because I felt like I've just like lost something that I never thought I would have. Do you know what I mean? Like I just lost out on a relationship and I never thought I would have a boyfriend. Like I just lost out on like having a boyfriend, and that idea was so far-fetched to me that like I never thought that I would realistically ever be able to like have a boyfriend. So like I felt like I just lost the best thing that ever happened to me. Ha! Me today. Ha! But no, but like that's the thought process. Like I had in my mind like a higher probability of like getting like buying like 5 Bugattis and like running into Kim Kardashian in Walmart. Like that's like I had a higher probability of like getting abducted by aliens than like having a boyfriend. Like that was my thought process. So that's why I was crying. So I'm in the car like, why God? Like just like a mess. So like clearly emotionally unstable. So then I Snapchat his sister, his older sister, because he had like one older sibling. So I Snapchat her. She wasn't at the house. So I Snapchat her, and I'm like outside. Like I go back to this house or whatever. Go back to their house. I'm outside, like just in front of the garage, like trying to like pull my stuff together and like Snapchatting her because she was like a reasonable human being. Like she was like very much there. You know what I mean? Like she was like amazing. So yeah, I Snapchat her, and I'm like, yo, like I didn't want to get you like I don't want to get you like in this like in between this or whatever, but like your brother is not replying to me and he's just like pressed or whatever, and I have no idea what just happened, but like he low-key just like fought me over this phone, like, but can you just like message him because I just want to talk to him. So she messaged him, says whatever, convinces him to come outside after a long time. I'm just sitting outside their house. He comes outside, we talk. I don't know what he said. Honestly, thinking back, there's nothing that he could have said that would have made sense to me now. He said something that just like made me be like, you know, okay, water under the bridge, right? Like he made up some sort of lie. I think, I remember. He said it was like somebody he used to talk to, but he had never changed the name. And it was just like something that he just like, that was like a low key, like he felt like it was like an embarrassing type moment thing. Like, dang, like this person messaged me and I used to talk to them, but I never changed the name out. We have been dating for like 3, 6, 9, 12, a quarter of a year at this point. Over a quarter of the year at this point. So like, you're lying. I see that now. I'm an idiot. Let's move past the point that I'm an idiot. We get it. So I took whatever and we just decided like, okay, we're just not gonna be in a relationship then or whatever. Y'all, we were not together for like, I kid you, but we were like being cordial and like being friends and stuff like that. So we were at the point where we're like, oh, let's be friends type thing, you know? Like, let's just like, a relationship didn't work out. Let's be friends. I have to say all of this, like, I don't know how long this is gonna be, the story, but like, so we literally were being like friendly, talking, still talking all the time, stuff like that. Like talking to the point, like friendly to the point that like we were talking about like hookups that like we just had or like about to have or something like that, right? So yeah, so we literally were talking about like hookups, relationships, stuff like that. Like all of this is gonna make sense by the end of the video. I have to like stress this. He knew that we were not together, like very much not together, because he broke up with me because I told him I would never break up with him because that just was like my thing or whatever. So because like I never thought that I would have a boyfriend. You get it. So we were not together. I was doing my thing. He was doing his thing. Clearly, he had been doing his thing while we were in a relationship. So, like, what was the difference anyways? Besides, like, he wasn't getting, like, free things. But yeah, so we were not together. And then fast forward, we, like, linked to, like, with one of my friends to smoke or something, right? I rarely do that, but, like, hey, whatever gets us together. So that was like my little plan, like let's see each other, because I knew I know when you see me, you know when that hotline bling. Stop. Okay, yeah, so we link or whatever to smoke with one of my friends, and from that point we got back together, and it had only been like 2 weeks. So at this point we established we're back in a relationship. It is now like April 15th, April 16th, 17th, something like that. I'm not doing anything with anybody else. He's not doing anything with anybody else. I told him, like, he clearly knew that I was doing other things, like, while we were not together. And even in person, like, I told him, like, show him the picture. Lord. I, like, showed him, like, the messages and, like, things or whatever, right? And he was like, oh, like, didn't have a problem with it or whatever. So I thought. Oh my gosh, I'm literally getting like pressed, like, and I haven't even like gotten to the point. Like, that was just like the middle of the story time. Like, there's like, no, that was probably like the quarter point of the story time. There's like 2 tragedy points, or like 3. Fast forward another couple months. At this point, it's probably June. I think it's about to be like June or something like that. And he was just getting like really bold with stuff on his story. And at this particular point, I was getting like he literally had made an account, like a spam account. And it was like, oh, I can't say the name because I don't know if it still exists. If it doesn't exist, I'm not going to bleep this out. It was Hoes Welcomed. If it still exists, I'm bleeping that out. But the name was Hoes Welcomed. And obviously, if we're together, why are you making a separate account, Instagram account called like Hoes Welcomed? And then he posted on his story. This was the breaking point, y'all. Months went by. We were like, cool, we were dating, going on more like, you know, adventure stuff like that. Like, I spent like several $1,000s on this man, and like dates and stuff like that at 17 years old. So like, clearly like spending bank on this man, like months, you know, months and months and months. Like, almost brought this man a phone. Like, I'm glad he said no. Like, that was the thing. Oh my God, how could I forgot to mention this? How did I forget to mention this? So at this particular point, like probably halfway through us dating, his phone broke. So, which, like, duh, if you're gonna fight people over it, duh, your phone's probably gonna break. But it didn't break after that. It just ended up breaking later. So I gave him my iPad. This iPad. And I was like, oh, well, you could use this because, like, I still want to talk to you, obviously. And, like, I'll just buy you a phone later or whatever. And he was like, well, he was like, okay, like, I'll, you know, like, use this or whatever to talk to you. He was like, no, like, you don't have to buy me a phone. Thank God he said that, because I literally would have. Like, I'm that boyfriend. Like, anyways. So I gave him this iPad to talk to me on. I'm talking to him. He's using my iPad or whatever. We're talking. He's using my iPad. He had taken pictures on my phone to like post on Instagram and stuff like that when he'd be over and stuff like that. So he'd use my phone to take pictures and then like send them to himself on like the iPad and like post on his Instagram and stuff like that. I just have to say all of that. All of that is gonna make sense in a moment. So fast forward to the day that I broke up with him, the day that I never thought would ever come in my entire life. But I saw he posted on his story a post that said, and it was a picture of him, and he literally like captured this. This was not like a Twitter thing. This was not like a retweet. No, this was like a straight from him. He said, roses are red, money is green. I'm being a hoe all 2K17. While we're in a relationship. I'm sorry, did you hear me? While we're in a relationship, he posted that and said that, and that was just like very like bold and like obviously disrespectful because like people knew we were in a relationship. So like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? So I was like, you know, I'm done. Like, I felt like disrespected, and like, you know, like I finally got caught on. I messaged this man at 10:51 p.m. at night, and I said, come outside. Like, I'm like a mom or something. Like, I said, come outside, like now. And I literally like pulled up to his house or whatever in the middle of the night, and he was like, okay, like why? So he comes outside, and I literally like, walked up to him, and I'm like, this is not going to be a thing. Like, this is not working. Like, you're very much disrespectful. Like, you're over here like posting things like this and like doing this and doing that as if we're not together. So like, I can't do this. Like, you're clearly like playing games with me or whatever. So we're breaking up. I'm breaking up with you right here, right now, on the sidewalk in front of your house. And he was like very much shook. I don't know why he was shook. He was like, oh, like, well, can we still be friends? Friends? No. So I was like, no, we're not being friends. I do not want any association with you whatsoever. then he was like, oh, well, can I at least like get my get my clothes back or whatever? Me being me, I had everything ready for him in a trash bag. Literally, like, gave him everything, was like, here you go. And then he gave me back the iPad or whatever. And he was like, oh, well, you can come back in like a day or two or whatever to get your clothes. And I said, keep them. Like, I do not want to ever see you again after this. So I literally got in the car, put the car in drive. This man standing on the sidewalk with now no phone, no iPad, holding all of these clothes in the dark. It's 11 something p.m. at night. And I step on the gas all the way and floor it. Take off, pull off on this man, leave this man on the side of the road with like clothes in front of his house, like. Slow round of applause for 2017 me, because we're actually like doing something like right for the first time finally. Yeah, so I break up with him or whatever, and at this particular point I wasn't heartbroken. I didn't feel anything, which is like how I knew it was the right decision. Like the first time we had broken up or whatever, he broke up with me, I was like sobbing, I was crying. I had no one to like really tell or like talk to or whatever. I was like in my room crying too, like. And that was just like a thing too, like being in the closet, you have nobody to really like talk to about things, you know what I mean? So, but at this particular point, I was over it. I was over him. Yeah, so I break up with him or whatever. And at this particular point, I wasn't heartbroken. I didn't feel anything, which is like how I knew it was the right decision. Like the first time we had broken up or whatever, he broke up with me, I was like sobbing, I was crying. I had no one to like really tell or like talk to or whatever. I was like in my room crying too, like, and that was just like a thing too, like being in the closet, you have nobody to really like talk to about things, you know what I mean? So, but at this particular point, I was over it. I was over him. At this particular point, it is now the summer of 2017. I had broken up with him, and I get messages from people that are like, hey, I need to tell you something. At this particular point, I'm like, what? Because I'd already dealt with people like saying they need to tell me something, like not telling me something. So I'm like, tell me or like leave me alone. And this was like people, like new people, like separate people. And this guy was like, oh, your boyfriend's cheating on you. And I'm like, we're not together anymore, but like, thank you. And they literally sent pictures and like screenshots. Like I was getting screenshots of him cheating on me, like messages and pictures and stuff like that. And y'all, the pictures that I was getting, like the thought pictures he was sending out, that my boyfriend was sending out, was pictures he took on my iPhone in my room with my black and white stuff. Like my entire bedroom in the background. He's taking like thought pictures to send out, sending them from my phone to my iPad that he had, cheating on me off of my iPad with thought pictures I were taken in my room on my phone. Like, when I tell you, like, that is probably, like, one of the highest levels of, like, of a cheating disrespect, like, ever. Anyway, so I literally told the people, I'm like, well, thank you. You're a little late. I already broke up with him. But, like, thank you for that. Wish you had said something sooner. Wish all of you had said something sooner. But this is, like, highly embarrassing. But, like, all right, great. Life goes on. I never thought that I would ever see him or hear from him again. If the story ended here, it would still be a very valid, interesting story time. But it didn't end there. Fast forward 2018, 2019, 2020. It is now my birthday, my 21st birthday, December 6th of last year, 2020. I turned 21. I post these bomb Instagram pictures, and somehow, like, I don't know, because I think I had made another Instagram. So, like, the account that I'm on now is, like, a new Instagram from when we were together, me and him. So, like, he wasn't blocked on this or nothing like that. So, he literally, like, found my Instagram and commented. It was like, oh, like, happy birthday. And, I think he said, like, happy birthday, love, or something like that. And I was like, literally was like, oh, my gosh, like, yay, like, we're in like a great place, you know what I mean? Like, it just like felt good. Like, of every happy birthday, that was the one that was just like the most like unexpected, the most like that stood out the most to me or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, so from this point I add him on my Snapchat. He follows me on Instagram. I try to follow him, but he was just like not accepting my follow requests, and then he was like, I don't know, just like, I don't know. He's just like being weird. So he just like wouldn't accept my follow request, but like followed me and was like liking my post or whatever and stuff like that. He congratulated me on hitting like, I think it was like 500,000 on TikTok or something like that. So then the day comes. So I think I Snapchat him something funny because I'm like, I don't like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like past that or whatever. Like I'm past that or whatever. So I messaged him on Snapchat a video. Oh my gosh. I hope I still have it. I don't know what I said in the video. If I have it, I'll play it. Actually, no, I won't because I might play like a clip or something. But like this video is already like 5 hours long and I don't want to add in like 5 minutes of Snapchats. But I Snapchat him something like, oh, and I said like his full government name, like first, middle, last. And I'm like, quit being a stranger, like add me back on or like accept my follow request on Instagram or something like that. And then he was like, he said something back, something like flirtatious or something like that. And then obviously like you cheated on me, so like clearly you didn't like me, so like I don't know why. So he was just like being like a little like flirtatious, like funny, something like that. And I think he said, Alexa play, like I think this is what started. I think he said like, Alexa play Best Thing You Ever Had or Best Thing You Never Had by like Beyonce or something like that. And then I replied, because like, what are you talking about? So then I replied, Alexa play, I think I said like Keisha Cole, like I should have cheated or something like that. I said, Alexa play Keisha Cole, I should have cheated. It was something like that. And then, yeah, because I called him toxic or something like that. And he ended up messaging me on Snapchat and sent a post that said, when they can't control you, they call you toxic. What? So now I have to tell him that like, because I'm just like, no, like you're not about to do this. Like you're not about to sit here and act like you were the best thing that I ever had or never had or whatever the case. When you were the one cheating on me, you never brought me anything. Not that I'm a person that like you need to buy me anything, because like he didn't have a job, didn't have a car, didn't have anything. But like you didn't do anything for me, and like we probably only like less than 10 times. So we weren't even having sex like that. That's another thing. But like clearly like you were getting it from somebody else. But like I can probably within the half a year we were together count on, like, I know I can count on both hands, might be able to count on one hand the amount of times that we like so I'm like, that wasn't even really like a thing. So like clearly I wasn't with you for money, I wasn't with you for sex, I literally was with you because like I loved you. Wow, like me, great boyfriend. So I told him, I'm like, yo, I just like you're not about to sit here and like do this. So I'm like, you cheated on me multiple times, you played me, disrespected me, like I have the receipts for all of it. I'm sorry, I have to pull up my notes to make sure I'm reading this correctly. He then replied, lie again, you dead some dirty Mexican on Grindr and showed me. I was dating you and
I'm about to have a mini stroke trying to read this. Y'all saw the messages. This man is illiterate. Go ahead and read it.
read it. But he pretty much was saying like, I was 16. This is why we've never worked in a relationship, because you're holding on to receipts and like you're like this, like you're being like petty. And I'm like, what do you mean? This is why we would never work. I said, we weren't together when that happened. Like, you're clearly delusional. And like, clearly y'all saw we were not together when that happened. And like, he saw the text messages that like I clearly like told him, and it didn't happen when we were together. And he said he was doing stuff with other people. And to find out he was doing stuff with other people while we were together, how could you possibly be mad ever about anything? So it became clear to me that he still felt like, why get back together with me if you felt some type of way that like I hooked up with somebody while we were not together? Because like I never thought we were gonna get back together. It's like I clearly like wouldn't have done that. But I'm like, why would you feel some type of way and then get back with me and then like cheat on me again because you felt some type of way that I did something while we weren't together? But like you were doing stuff while we were together. Make it make sense. Anyways, I don't understand why he was saying like I was 16 and I told him, I'm like, yo, you're gonna be a story time. Like this is gonna be a story time. This is gonna be a bomb story time. Like I'm telling everybody. like I'm like, this is like entertaining, right? Like, are you not thoroughly entertained? Like, are you not irritated or agitated? Like, how far along are you on your meal? Like this is like, it's probably an hour long. But no, I literally tell him, I'm like, no, this is gonna be a story time. Like that's why I'm keeping the receipts. And like obviously like you don't remember stuff, you lie about stuff. So like I have to do this. And then, like, I don't know why he kept stressing the fact that, like, make sure you tell them I was 16. I was 16 years old. Like, I don't know why he was saying that as if I was, like, 40 and dating him at 16 when I was only, like, 17 and he was 16. And, like, that's, like, 1,000% normal. Or I don't know if he was saying, I was 16, as if like, make sure you tell them I was 16 because everybody cheats at 16. As if you beating me up over a phone and cheating on me multiple times is validated by you being 16, because that's just like a normal like teenage thing, and it's not. And of everything, I literally like lost it and like went like the part that like irritated me the most was when he said like dirty Mexican. I'm like, that like literally like, why would you even like that was the point where I like lost him, because I'm like, what you're not about to do is like sit around here and be racist. Like, I grew up in San Antonio for like, I mean, not grew up, but like lived in San Antonio for like a a decent portion of my life. So, which like, not that I would have felt any other way if I didn't, but like, since I lived there, then like I have a closer connection to like Hispanic people and Mexicans and like, you know, like the whole vibe or whatever. So I'm like, what you're not about to sit up here and do is disrespect people and be racist and stuff like that. So like, that of everything, like scratch the cheating, like you're literally over here like calling people all sorts of things, and like that threw me the most. So that's where I went off on him. And then this man unadded me on Snapchat. I think he blocked me. He blocked me on Snapchat, and then he blocked me on Instagram. And I didn't feel any type of way. I literally was just chuckling. Wow, this is the longest video I've ever filmed. So I literally was just chuckling. So if the story ended there, it would still be a great, valid story, but it didn't. So I go and I'm like about to film this story right now. And when I tell you like 3 hours ago or 2 hours ago, it was about like 2 hours ago, I wake up and I see that this man like liked my Instagram post. As I woke up to film this story time, I had only ever spoken to him one time in the past like several years. So the fact that he literally like blocked me months ago and then unblocked me and liked my post right before I filmed this story time. But then I just ended up blocking him like right now, because I'm like, I don't know, leave me alone. But I'm like, what in the psychic coincidence is going on in the universe? Like, I literally was like, I had to get up. I was like, I'm filming this right now, because like, it's clearly meant to be, because what are the odds? What are the odds? So yeah, that's the story time about the time that I got cheated on multiple times, jumped, used, beat up, scratched, I don't know, you know, played, humiliated publicly. I have not been in a relationship since. It has now been 4 years. I don't really plan on being in a relationship. I'm not against it. But that experience very much like raised the standard for me, like raised the bar. And I feel like anybody I come in contact with that I like is delusional, crazy, psychotic, a killer, or a cheater. I literally have a story time. I mean, y'all, literally one time I was on a date. Oh my God. Literally there's several other crazy story times if you want to hear about me talking to other people and then them just being like delusional, or crazy. So yeah, that's why I'm single. I'm thriving singly. Not against relationship. I'm clearly like great in relationships and like loyal and amazing and stuff like that, and like loving and caring and like catering and stuff like that. But yeah, to keep up with me when I'm not posting here on my social media is at Zachariah DeMilo, and my other teacher TikTok and my third TikTok account is Zachariah DeMilo 2 and Zachariah DeMilo 3. I'm literally a trash YouTuber. I forgot to say like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. So for more crazy story times and other videos, do that. Love y'all. So yeah, until next time. Alexa, play Unbreak My Heart by Tony Braxton, because that man's clearly still obsessed with me.